we have a special guest, not only today, but the whole academic year. As you know, we started a visiting professorship 2 years ago with Winnie Maas, the Dutch architect, being here for 2 years. And now I'm delighted that what we call Professor Querkraft accepted our invitation, and Peter, Jakob, and Gert will be here for this academic year. We are very happy that you gave our time to our school and our students, also our professors. Before I give the floor to you, I would like to pass over this to you. It's from our rector. It's the decree of a visiting professor. The idea is that we should give it to you at a very special occasion, which usually what is meant is that we give it at the Bethlehem Chapel in downtown. But I think the most special occasion is this lecture here. So
thanks a lot.
You.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And floor is yours.
So thank you very much, Dalipur. Thank you very much for your warm welcome, and thank you very much, dear audience, to be here. And hope all our students are here. I'm very happy to be on this here on this lively place, and our students are really great. Now I would like to tell you a little bit about the work of querkraft, our thoughts and our ideas, and how we do architecture. We are 3 guys, Jakob Dunkel, Gerd Erhard, and me. And we are now about 40 people in the office, and started 1998. And we are not specialized in one topology, and we didn't develop one special style in our work. What we do is we want to find for every task the real answer, and we are very much interested in the life of people and in the usage of architecture and in the reflection of our buildings by the people. What we try over all the years is to develop something we call emotional sustainability. And this means that we try that people who use our architecture in the best way love the architecture. So this is for us something we believe in. We believe that this is the most efficient way of sustainability, because then if a building is loved by the people, it's not necessary to crash it down. Now we have our office since 10 years in the old Börse in Vienna. And for us, it's a very important place because it's something like a workshop. We always wish to have it, and we have it since 10 years, and we use it not only for working, but also to make parties, to meet people. And we have 5 to 6 times a year also lectures with Architektur in Progress, and these lectures give young architects the opportunity to show their work. Just now here with our student in Praha, we do a design program on this place near the Museumsquartier, Vienna, and for this reason I show you some 2 little projects we did also here. And the first project was an artwork competition for young artists and architects, and it was in the time where the building construction of the new it was redesigned, the Museumsquartier, and in this time when the companies have working here, they wanted that we do something on the facade that you see. It's a cultural function in future. Because in former days it was the stable of the emperors. There were the horses of the emperors here inside. Yeah, and so on this was 1998, and in the beginning we looked a little bit different till now, and we have been 4 guys at the beginning, the first 6 years. And what we did was at that time the foreground of the Museumsquartier there were bushes and trees, and we thought it's not a good idea to make a competition for the facade, because no one will see it. And so we cutted away the bushes and made this little installation with it's 10,000 square meters, and we wanted to show that in future it's a good place to make different things for the Museumsquartier, exhibitions and all these things. And so the Museumsquartier, which is very rigid, can go outside. And so it was a very cheap and very temporary measure. And in the end, there was not enough money that we can ask a company to remove these things. And so we bought these orange overalls and also carried this away for ourselves. So we got the money for the works. It was better for us. And with this money, we made a big party at the end. It was called Nicht lange Fackeln, which is a play of words, because these are 600 torches on the sticks, and this it means go for it. Yeah, and the second work was on this part. It's the so-called Ovalhalle. This was the place where the best horses of the emperor were staying, and we made a interior design for a bookshop with movable part of furniture, and around here we made something like an ice hockey ring consisting of shelves for the books, and in the background there is the storage. And we decided to make it with these steel shelves with the technique you use for screws to give this golden shining surface. And because the same do the books have so these different colors, and so there's a little tension between this ice hockey ring of books and the this Baroque room. Yeah, these little projects of our beginning. And maybe one example, what we like to do very much is to catch 5 flies or more flies with one bat, so that we try to make one measure for different problems. This is was the entrance hall of the Technical Museum in Vienna, and it didn't work very good, because they had here many columns, they had a bad acoustic, bad light, no furniture for the children which visiting this space, and also the heat of the sun in this glassing was a problem. And what we did was we developed something like a big mushroom, which is on the bottom the furniture for the children to sit. And here is a material which improves the physical quality, the sound in the hall, and also of this surface, it minimizes the place where the sun can come in, and so it's better, and light is also implemented here. And it looks like this, and this form reduces the sunlight which comes in, and so it's possible that it can be clear this glass roof so that we can see the old historic building. And you see the children use it as a furniture to wait and stay. And in the night, the upper part starts to glow, and so it's also something which has something like a logo for the museum to get outside. And what I forgot to mention, for us very important, these little parts swallow these pillars which are in the hall, and so you only see these mushrooms and not the pillars. One thing which is also very interesting for our thinking of architecture is that when the people use architecture, they always change something, and you see what they are doing. And many architects fight against this. But if somebody will in his house, he will change something which is ugly, you cannot do anything against it. It's better to use this energy of the people. And we tried to do this in a social housing project in Vienna. Housing is for us very important because people need space to live, and we think it's very interesting to create this. And we tried to say, okay, people, they hang their things outside the balcony, and why we don't start with something like a starter kit for using a housing project, which consists of these foils that you cannot see on the balcony, and these parts for the flowers, and this special thing is for the laundry. And it's a funny thing for us because you can clap it. If you are more extroverted type, you can put your underwear outside, and if you're more intimate, you clap it inside. Yeah, and so it started very simple, and you see here the first when it was starting to create architecture, and yeah, it's. Yes, and now you see also underwear can do something for architecture. That's we like this. As I said, housing is important for us, and one level of housing is when a city develops, there are many places which are really difficult, social difficult, and one place was on the River Danube on a very loud street, and there was on an existing housing project with 1,000 people living there. It was developed in the 70s, and in front of this building there was a 430 meters long garage building, and this building was really broken down and it was rotten, and this space between was also really difficult. It was a social difficult space. People didn't like to go there in the night. And the city, they had the idea to make a new garage for these people, and the financial possibility to do this was the idea to create new living space. And this was the problem, because we had to do here in the competition 20,000 square meters of living space in front of an existing building where the people see every day to a big river. And so one of our tasks was to make to divide this mass into seven cubes, and to make these cubes as slim as possible, because they can deliver here 7 meters over this new garage building. And the aim was that these flats here have their view to the Danube undisturbed. And on top of this garage, there is an 430 meter long garden deck with different social functions, open functions. It's connected also with a bridge to the river shore. And this is a measure which is for not only for the new inhabitants here, but also for the people who live in the existing building. And so this is a view from the people living in the building behind, and so they see on this green deck, not on a rotten garage. And you have also here the way going through this 430 meters. It's a theme which is in the Viennese living project, housing project, typical to have different sequences of courts in big social housing projects. Yeah, we had also a concept, art concept of the colors with Ingo Nussbaumer. And yeah, different social places where people can meet, and open staircase. This is a kind of social housing with a very low price, but anyway, every flat has its own balcony, and this balcony is also done with this artist with Ingo Nussbaum with the colors. And what we also like to do is we help people to start planting their things on the balconies. So we make tools for them to tell them how they can plant the things, and so we use their energy to make the buildings more green. Here it's on the beginning. I hope it will increase. This balcony has a special size. It shows more to the river and not to the house behind, because so the people are protected a little bit and don't look the other people in their rooms. And so what also we like very much is to give these buildings a special shape, so that when you pass by, they have a special character. And on this is you see here one floor of the garage, and in the meanwhile it's completely green. One project which is very important for our office is more a land art project than architecture. It's in Carinthia, in southeast of Austria. It's really far away from the next bigger town, and that was a competition for the most important art collector in Austria. It's Mr. Leonik, and Mr. Leonik collected modern art after 1945, and he has here in Neuhaus this site. It's a flat hill, a very special flat hill. When we visited, we didn't recognize in the first moment that behind this hill there is the River Drau, a very beautiful valley, and so we decided to develop a concept to see the building as a connection, as a visual connection between the valley of the street where you access the building and the big valley of the River Drau. And so this building consists here of the entrance. Then you come in the entrance hall with the art deposit. And then is here the main exhibition space. It's a hall which is 140 meter long and 12 meter wide. And there is also here one chamber of African gold collection, and we did here two additional steps. The first steps is here the sculpture deposit. And this is a quite funny thing because Mr. Leonik wanted to have a deposit for the packed sculptures and also for his tractor for the site. And there was no money to do it, so I will tell later maybe how we constructed it, but the topic is that later he wanted to connect it with the museum, so we also had to this gangway and a silver and glass connection space and a new sculpture deposit, and here exhibition space which for changing exhibitions. And you see here the museum lies in the landscape like a silver needle. And when you come here on the street, it's quite a expressive building because it cantilevers here 33 meters. It's a bridge construction which holds this on place. And the covering is a very simple industrial roof. The reason is because it's a very cheap museum, because the collector says he wants to spend the money for the art and not so much for the architecture. And so we built this museum for the square meter price like social housing. It was really hard for us. And when you enter the museum, you see on the left side the reception, and on the right side this art deposit where the pictures are hanging, and the curators, they can pull it out and can look at it and decide what they will choose for the next exhibition. And we did this because you must know in an exhibition maybe there are 200 or maximum 300 artworks hanging, but the collector has 3,000 or more. And so when you enter, you feel the is so much like a treasury, so much more here than you see on the walls. Inside, it's an industrial space, concrete floor, concrete walls, and this industrial ceiling. And for us, very important is you always have this view outside in the landscape, and then this makes the people who going through the exhibition not small. You feel it's very easy to go through. And the walls here are moving walls. So you can configure this exhibition space every year new. On the end of this hall, there is the terrace for the sculptures, for the outside sculptures. And here it's the side to the Bundesstraße. And on the other side, here to the Trautal. So the landscape is part of the exhibition. And this is, as I mentioned, the house for the tractor and the sculptures deposit. And as we also had for this not really enough money, we choose a scaffolding which is used for, oh, I don't have this English word, Vollschlammkläranlage, maybe someone knows. It's for clearing the water, yeah, and you get this scaffolding. You can put it there and then make the concrete. And we did here a hole for the light and some lights here on the wall, and that's it. And Mr. Leonik said, it's so beautiful, I want to have it in the exhibition. And so we connected it, and now it's used also for normal exhibition. And yeah, he said the acoustic is not good, and so it's a mistake. And the honorar will be less, but we say, no, it's for the tractor, and say, okay. Yeah. So in the landscape, you see only this hill. And as we had to connect also this gold collection, which is thematically not really very close to the modern art. So we decided to make a long gangways, which we designed with artists like here Brigitte Kowand. And on this silver collection here with Esther Stocker. And here on the left side, you go to the sculpture deposit. Yeah, this is the entrance of the silver collection. And for this new exhibition hall on the side, we had to cut this existing wall. And then we get the access to this triangle room. Here it's John Scully exhibition. It was really a nice artwork to start this different exhibitions. And a little bit complicated roof. But it is an intelligent roof because these beams are always on the end of the triangle. There come the opposite beam, and so this wideness of the long beams it reduced to these other beams. So it works quite economic. We always think about also to reduce the footprint and to avoid senseless things. But anyway, we joined the Expo 2020 in Dubai. Dubai is a place which repeated all the urban planning mistakes of the United States in the last decades. And they made a very big expo. And the Austrian pavilion, we won this competition because we had not enough work at that time, so we joined this competition. We had this place and the theme of opportunity. And so we thought the normal expo pavilions, there are temporary buildings with, after half a year, they are crashed down. And we thought, what could we do maybe to make this a little bit better? And we looked what is in the region possible and what is usual, and we found these historical wind towers, which cool the rooms only with humidity and wind and the natural thermic flows. And so we did the same principle. We used forms which are high, like towers. We have here a clay on the wall, and this thermic flows. We close these cones in the night, in the day, and open it in the night, and the air flows through, and so we could avoid the coolings. And the forms are quite simple. It's a simple cone, and when you add these cones, then they meet in one point, and this point is the something like a column which reached the ground, and it depends how you cut these cones together. Then there remains walls which reach the ground, and then so you can create room. And the next thing is that we cut these cones in different heights so that it's more lively. And so the Austrian pavilion is a addition of these cones, and there are some green courtyards, and we had no cooling was necessary for that. So you see it here all together. We used, because it was the only possibility here in Dubai, to make prefabricated concrete slim parts which we could collect together and which are possible to use on another place, because you can resample it. And then these parts were covered with clay, and the addition was this sculptural pavilion. The theme was to work with the senses, and so you see here the clay on the wall, and you must imagine that outside it's very, very hot. People rushing through the expo from one pavilion to the next, which is very cold inside, and you have a flooding of light and content. And so we wanted to bring them down and to have only these different senses. For here, for the smell, this is zirbe, it's a wood which is smelling very strong, and do have this different light and shadow, and also the surface and the greens, the trees. And so the people and also the locals, they liked it because it remembers them on their history. and we like this sculptural, playful thing. One thing our students know is a project, a competition we won. It was a very big competition for IKEA of Sweden. And they wanted to build in Vienna, near the Westbahnhof, the first totally car-free IKEA in the world. And we thought, what can we do on this really dense, hot and dense spot in the town? And in the competition, IKEA told us we want to be a good neighbor. And so we thought about what can we do to be a good neighbor here. And we thought maybe it's a good idea to bring a dance screen here on the site and to influence the site in this way. And what we did is we covered the program of storage, shopping, restaurant, hotel with a big grid of metal construction, and we enriched this grid with 160 trees on the building. On this section, you can also see here the Viennese underground, and this was really a difficult building site because there was another building existing here, and when we removed it, we had to be very carefully that when we remove the load of the old building, that this underground, which is in the groundwater, don't float up. And so it 6 centimeters was allowed, and it was in the end 4 centimeters, so it was okay. Yeah, and here you see this metal grid with the 160 trees, and they store 100 tons of CO2 a year. And for us also a very important effect is that it cools down the surroundings, the near surroundings, for 1.5 degrees. Yeah, and here you see the grid, which consists of the parts where the trees are, terraces, and these add-ons where the inner space looks outside. Here you see the ground floor, which is really free and programmable, and this add-ons which come out and look in the town. And all the stuff, the technical stuff, elevators, staircases, and so on, is located in the grid, and also the greenery, the trees. And the upper 2 floors is a hotel, and the hotel has these atriums for the light. And we choose the trees that over the year they have an interesting appearance. The construction is very simple. It's a hybrid construction of steel and concrete, and it's covered with panels, metal panels, and glass. So it was very easy to have a different openings to the outside. And here you see this expressive appearance we like in this quite gray and rigid surrounding. It lays here on the outer Marie-Hilfer-Straße, and there is a railway station here. And so in the competition, they wanted us to have here a 4-meter arcade, so that people have more space. But here in our building, it's 30 meters. It's open, and there are only these trees and these little places, terraces here for when you can get out and use this space, and also here in front of the restaurant. And in the upper 2 floors, there is Joe and Joe. It's a youth hostel organization which fits very good to IKEA. And here's the inner void where the light from above comes down, and there is a free stairway where you can up to the public terrace. And this was one important point from the government of Vienna. They allowed IKEA to make a shopping center on this place, but they said you have to give the public your roof. And that's why it's open and everyone can go there, and it's you don't have to buy something. You can bring your food and you can look over Vienna. And what's quite funny is that in the end, some guy was writing us a letter or email, and he told he's the president of the fan club of IKEA. And we thought, oh, it's a marketing gag of IKEA. But no, he said he is a neighbor and he is so happy about the building, and he founded a fan club of neighbors, and he's the president. So it's really funny for us. Yeah, and I told Dalibor, I thought maybe you are interested in a project which works with reconstruction, and it is a very difficult project for myself. Because it lasts since 12 years. I work on this project. This is in Ingolstadt, Germany, a cannon factory of 1840. And the city of Ingolstadt, they wanted to make a museum of concrete art in this building. And when we came there, we saw this wonderful space inside. And we thought, when we now create here a climate for a museum, which means that you need much insulation and all these things, you will kill this atmosphere of this wonderful industrial hall. And therefore, you see here these details and graffitis. And we developed a concept which deals with this creative conflict, that we need a very quiet exhibition space for concrete art, which is a very fine art, and this industrial building. And what we did is we said, okay, we built this exhibition space below the existing hall in the ground. And then on the second step, to connect it with some cuts so that you have a visual connection with these two parts of the building, to have in the end one space continuum. And you see here the section, here on the ground floor, the hall. In the middle, there is this crane track where they pulled the cannons. And this crane tracks also carries the roof. And here we have some other functions, the pedagogic and office and kitchen and so on. And the exhibition space here in the ground, connected with this cut. And what we see also is there's these historic walls. They have foundation deep in the ground. And so we wanted, when we go put this exhibition space in the ground, that we see these foundations. In the competition, it was a very simple picture with this shed hall and this cut. And you see here this foundation in the ground. When you come in, when you enter the hall, here reception and different functions, the office and on the end the restaurant. And here there is space for maybe design or something which has not so high conservatory regardings. And what for us was very important, this connection, this cut between these two different spaces of the hall and the museum. It's also for us important because on the other side there is a school, and we thought that the people, the guys can go in and look on the art without paying a ticket, and maybe they will get interested in future. And yeah. And then after 4 years of struggling with the city and with all these different levels, we started with the building process. And this was like we found the hall, and we had to dig at first a little bit down to find these foundations of machines and also of this crane track. And all this is guided by the archaeologists, and so they had to be very carefully to cut out every stone to find something, so it lasts a very long time. And after that, we reached a height of maybe 80 centimeters, and after this time, we covered all this what we digged out with some stones, and for one reason, because we put here a temporary steel construction which reaches from one outside wall of the hall to the other one for 25 meters, and these steel constructions has to hold this crane track and therefore also the roof, because we had to remove these steel pillars to go deeper in the ground. So you see here this temporary construction over the hole, and these steel pillars are removed here. And then we started to go deeper again. And this was possible 4 meters below ground without any additional foundation measure. And so and this was a very long process because there were many crane foundations on this place. And then on this point, we started to make the foundations. And these foundations are these micro piles and these big concrete piles, which carry steel construction with needles drilled through the wall. And so these micro piles, they carried the whole load of this outside wall and also of the roof. So you see here the steel construction and the foundation. Yeah, and then it was possible to go 3 meters further deeper. And in that time, you must know that the whole hall is hovering over only on these iron piles. And then again, we find also in very deep these machine foundations. And these machine foundations, they're laid on this wooden surface, which is like a dance floor, and this wood lies here on hundreds of oak piles in the ground. So all these things we had to remove. And what we can see here also is that here through the hall, the Renaissance fortress of Ingolstadt, the foundation of the Renaissance fortress, goes diametral through the hall, and also this was necessary to be removed. Yeah, you see here the foundations of on this new, the old one, here on the new piles. Yeah, and then we had we reached the right level, and we could cover with a foil the ground. It was for us really. A very emotional moment to have the first slab on the ground, and then we know it goes up again. Here the first walls, and then you see between these foundations the floor comes out, and so we needed to bring the loads of the wall on the new floor. This was the next step. You see also here the floor goes here, and till on this picture it's not connected. So this had to be filled with concrete, and then we could remove this foundation construction. Here they are the first blocks we cut it, and you see all these micropiles have been removed. And then we cut it this steel construction, and then it goes up with the scaffolding. And yeah, and these are the slabs of the ground floor. Now we are again on the floor we started. And you see here again the grain track with this temporary construction. And on the next picture, you see the piles are here also with on their original place. And so we could pull the loads again on these piles and remove the construction, and now it stands here as it was before. Yeah, and you see it's much work to do. Outside also we had to do many different measures, and in the exhibition hall it's full of these temporary piles which are necessary for the construction on the first floor. And we hope that in nearly 2 years we can look it like this. Yeah, I don't hope it lasts longer, but I always have to say to my partners, in 2 years we finish. Yeah, and this is my team, and I say thank you for your audience.
Thank you for a wonderful lecture. Questions? Okay, I'll start. I like that you said that you try to avoid useless things. And can you tell us something about the name of your office? What does it mean, and why does the logo look like?
Okay, querkraft. Yeah, querkraft is a word from statics, but we don't mean this one, but we mean it's developed because we wanted to think out of the box. In German it means querdenken, and therefore it's lateral thinking, something like this. And therefore it was a long process to find our name. And we had many stupid attempts for like Rax or something else. But yeah, in the end it was querkraft.
You were talking about your project for IKEA in Vienna, I believe. And you're talking about 160 trees, and I'm putting that in like a parallel to what you're saying of architecture that lasts a long time. And I was wondering what's the thought process behind what's going to happen to the trees when they start to grow and like take up more space. Do they have to be taken care of so that they don't grow too much, or is it like a hands-off project where the trees can grow very tall and the building is covered in trees?
You mean the trees of IKEA that?
Yeah, because for now they're fairly small, but I was wondering when they start to grow, what's happening? Do they have to be trimmed?
No, they have. Yeah, there are water pipes, and so they are good. They are in good conditions, and this picture is after the finish, after the building was finished, and now I think they are bigger.
So they won't go like taller than.
They will not get very tall because these pots they regulate the how big they can grow. Yeah, so it's not possible that they are 20 meters high. They will stop maybe by 10 meters on the top. And these trees on the facade, they will get 5 or 6 meters high.
Okay, thank you.
Also, thank you for a great presentation. I have questions. What happens with the Expo Pavilion if you just demolished after the exhibition and threw it away, or if you just assemble the pavilion somewhere else and now it's like a kindergarten in Vienna, or what happens with that?
Yeah, I hoped you didn't ask this. It's a big wound in our heart because the first idea when we won the competition was to make it only made of clay, yeah, of stamped clay. But it was not possible because in Dubai the building regulations is that they have, for some different techniques, they have these building regulations. And if you have a technique which is not in these regulations, they have international organizations which can you give the permit. And so we only found one British company which would give us a stamp for a wooden construction, but only for one type of wooden construction. And clay, which is a material which is historic in this region, very strongly used, was not possible. So, because our idea was that in the end, the fire brigade comes with the pipes and put it away with the water, and then it's nothing left. And so we changed our idea and said, okay, then we make it resembling, that we can resemble it, and we made these very slim concrete parts with clay inside, and we had some very intense discussions with other places in the surroundings in Dubai, but also in Oman University, and of different, very complicated reasons, it was not so easy. But then Dubai said, "We like it so much, we want that it shall stay in Dubai." And then we say, "Okay, wonderful, the best thing, it stays there, and wonderful." And so we stopped our discussions with other cities. And in the end, the organization in Dubai, they gave the Austrian ministry a contract where there was written they have to guarantee for everything which will happen in the next 25 years. And so the Austrian minister say, we cannot do that. And therefore it was crashed. Yeah, bad story.
Thank you. Thank you very much for a very nice lecture. I'm really very surprised that you were allowed to remove those Renaissance foundations in Ingolstadt. Did you have any plan B if you did not succeed the struggle with the heritage protection?
The technical problems here in Ingolstadt, they have been very clear from the beginning on. But we have a very good static office. We work together since 25 years. And in the beginning, we thought very deeply about these problems. And they told us, we will solve this problem. And so I could sleep well, and I thought, okay, it will work. But the problem here is, it's like when you build a building, always some problems come up. Yeah, and then you solve the problems and you go to the next step. But on this building, every problem that is possible comes here up on this building, and always the worst case. And so this was one part, and the other part was that the client is very has big difficulties to make decisions. And if you don't decide things when the world is burning, then it costs much money. And so the problems are more of this process of this not making decisions, so that the companies they fall out of their timetable, so that of the contracted timetable. So after some time, because one company cannot start, because another, because of a problem, cannot finish, so they fell out of their contract timetable, and they say, now I have no time. I come next year. And so it goes, this is the problem we have now. And it goes really from month to month, and we have no chance to force the companies to finish. And that's much more the problem than the static things. This also, I never had the sorrow that this will not work.
From our studio, we've been to Vienna, especially to the Aspern, Seestadt, and we had a small talk with a guy from the developer center, yes. But like, if you, as one of the architects that were invited to like design some of the houses here, how do you see the idea of like building this type of development?
I'm not sure if I understand it right. You mean how we see the developing in Aspan, the housing developing?
Yes, like from the point of the architect, not from the point of the developer.
Yeah, I think Aspan, you know, there was a urban planning competition, and the result of the competition, in the first moment, it was a little bit conservative, so it was a little bit astonishing for us. But then it was a really ambitious concept of this company which builds all this or is responsible for the developing of Aspan. Because they forced the different housing companies to give really their best and to have also high qualities in ecological standards, for example. And therefore, I think there are several buildings which are really quite good, and like in every town there are several which are not good. And yeah, the space between, there is always a discussion about architects. Maybe it could be a little bit denser. It's very wide, and wide is in the first meaning it's good because you have space and air to breathe and so. But when you think on maybe an Italian town, yeah, there is more density, and its density is also good for life. But I think the life quality in Aspen for the people who live there is really good. What do you think? You saw it.
Thank you. Like I agree with you that like there were some good buildings and there were some not so good buildings. So thank you very much.
How was it with the IKEA? Like, what the process and everything? Is it any different with the other companies? How was it? How was it with the IKEA?
Yes.
Was it different because it's such a big company, and also they have, I think, they are, at least for me, they seem to be much more friendly, at least from the outside. How was it with them?
For us, it was really astonishing because we didn't know that IKEA is something like a franchise system. So the companies in the different countries, they act really very responsible and quite free. And from the CEO in Vienna, the guy had 10 years ago the idea to build an IKEA in the middle of the town. And so he always ran to Sweden to get the money for that, and they always say, stupid guy and so. And after some years, they say, okay, if you want to be unlucky to the rest of your life, you try. Yeah? And so he tried, and it was possible for him to build on this site because he made this deal with the town to have no parkings and public space on the roof. And there were many people very skeptical in Sweden. And when we started the building process, we knew that IKEA has a building architectural building company for all over the world. They make these IKEAs always the same scheme. So they knew every screw what to do. But here it was completely new. And when we ask them, how does it work when the people go through and they buy something on this level, and what is if they go to the next level, what are we doing? They always said, we don't know. And so this was really interesting for us. So we had to develop with them this new system, because it's really different to them what they are used, and for us it was really difficult to work with them, because they were not used to work on a new topic. They were used on these flat IKEAs, and so it was really interesting. But the Viennese IKEA group, they had really good guys who were interested to develop something new. And so that was for us really very, very interesting to be part of this.
Okay, thank you, Peter, for your wonderful lecture. Thanks again.
Thank you, Talibu, for the
Thanks
invitation.
for coming.
Thank you. Thank you.